Five-star Cameron Holmes is going to be visiting the Illini on September 12th. I talked about that on an earlier episode of Locked On Illini. Enjoy. And welcome back to Locked On Illini. If you haven't hit that like button, why not? Do me a quick favor. Just make sure you've smashed that button. We got a lot of exciting things going on. And this one the news broke on Wednesday, around Wednesday afternoon, that the Illini are going to be bringing in a very high-profile five-star in for a visit next week. And who I'm talking about is five-star 2026 wing Cameron Holmes. One of the most sought-after prospects in the entire class is going to be visiting Champaign on September 12th. And let me tell you, if this is a guy that Brad Underwood is serious about and he has the potential to get, he could be the headliner of this class that I know so many of you are seeking out. Now, I know this news came kind of abruptly, but what I wanted to do was spend a couple minutes maybe giving you guys a scouting report on what his game kind of looks like. I've spent a little time reading scouting reports, watching YouTube videos, and just seeing what his style of play looks like, just so I can kind of relay the message over onto you guys. So where do we start? Holmes is a 6'5". He's left-handed. He's a wing from Millennium High School out in Arizona. Looks like he's physically ready for high major basketball. He's listed anywhere. I've seen 175, but I've seen as high as 194. And he's got the type of frame that is kind of filled out, but could fill out a little bit more. He's not going to be one of those scrawny freshmen that we tend to see in college basketball as of late. He's also the younger brother of Cameron Holmes II, who just made the leap to the NBA with the Denver Nuggets. So obviously the family has basketball pedigree. He's a number 5 small forward in the 2026 class with offers from North Carolina, Arizona, Oregon, Texas, Gonzaga, UCLA, Michigan State, USC, and more. So to break down his game a little bit, the guy can score. And I mean the guy can score from all three levels, which you would expect from a top 25 guy. At the rim, mid-range, from deep. His shooting mechanics seem to improve. What I watched from him as a younger classman looked a little herky-jerky, but now he's got more of a fluid release that looks very smooth from the perimeter. At MBAPA, that's try saying that 10 times fast, top 100 camp, he had 12.3 points per game against some elite peers. And he's not afraid of the tough shots. He can hit pull-ups. I saw him take step backs and take contested shots. He has playmaking ability in the sense the scouting reports do say he's an excellent decision maker for a scoring wind. He's comfortable passing from the middle of the floor, and he's not one of those guys who over dribbles, which can sometimes stall the offense. He plays within the system, which I think is huge for that Brad Underwood offense that we've been playing the last couple of years, which is really, let's quite honestly say, let's score as fast as we can. Let's not let the defense settle down. Just pass it around. Defense, he's got very good length, as I mentioned earlier, and he's got plus anticipation, which ultimately could equal to being a disruptive defender. Quite honestly, when you look at these YouTube clips, very rarely do they highlight the defensive aspect. So that part is kind of hard to critique. But he did know how to rotate, how to close out, and he was generating steals without just gambling. He looks like, again, more importantly, as I mentioned, because of his size, he's already capable of defending multiple positions. I will say he's not the perfect prospect yet in regards to areas of growth. His ball handling, it looks like it still needs a little work. Right now, I think he's more of a secondary creator more than a primary ball handler. And he could attack more aggressively instead of kind of deferring at times. At least that's according to some of the scouting reports out there. And expanding off the dribble footwork is ultimately going to raise his ceiling if he plans on eventually following his brother to the NBA. Now, when it comes to the fit with the Illini, this is how I see it. We know Brad loves versatile two-way wings. Think about what he's gotten out of guys like Terrence Shannon Jr., of course. Holmes could be in that type of mold. Holmes' defensive IQ and length would slide perfectly into Illinois' switching schemes that we've been using. Well, again, we've got Cameron Crocker as our new defensive coordinator, so I don't know if that's going to change now. But his ability to hit shots and make the right reads means he could absolutely start early in his Illinois career. I know I haven't been saying that about some of the recently commitments, but Cameron absolutely could play very early in his career. And the recruiting staff clearly sees him as a culture fit when it comes to just pure competitiveness, team first, and the feedback seems to be that he's very coachable. So he's going to be visiting on September 12th, and I think that date is huge. It makes sense because what Illinois and Brad Underwood has said is like they want to get their priority targets in on football Saturdays. They enjoy the atmosphere, and lo and behold, he's coming on September 12th, the very next day, for which he is going to be in Champaign. Illinois is going to be playing Western Michigan for Family Day. So hopefully the place is going to be sold out. The atmosphere is going to be raucous, a lot of energy in the building. Hopefully at that point, Illinois will have just come off a very solid victory over Duke. And now you're talking about a 2-0 Illini team coming into Champaign. And hopefully, again, that type of energy can sway prospects your way. So I don't think that September 12th date is by mistake. By the way, I should mention North Carolina, he's visiting the week after, and then Oklahoma on October 3rd, Texas, October 31st, Gonzaga, November 11th, and Arizona finally December 5th. Long-term projection, again, multi-year, high major starter. He can be, I don't know if he would be the best player on the team his first year at Illinois, but he absolutely has starter potential and could be one of the main contributors. Ceiling, NBA rotational player. Again, it's kind of hard when you're looking at high school tape, but if his shooting volume and creation continue to grow, I think he can join his brother at the NBA levels. The comparisons I've been reading are Justin Jackson, Cameron Johnson, like versatile, smart two-way wings who can play anywhere from the 2 to the 4 when it comes to maybe small ball looks. So ultimately, if Illinois can bring in Cameron Holmes to Champaign and sell him on being the next great Illini wing, well, then all of a sudden, a lot of the doubters of this 2026 class, well, they're going to have to be quiet for a little bit because this could be a program-changing type of addition. We're talking about a player who can anchor your defense, stretch the floor, and be a matchup nightmare for a couple of years. September 12th might just be the day that helps shift the perception of the Illini basketball recruiting moving forward. Having said all that, I'm going to be honest with you, like I'm always honest with you. This is going to be a priority recruit when it comes to other teams as well. I think we're going to find out very early on in the season how aggressive Illinois is going to be with these prep prospects. I'm asked all the time what this men's basketball recruiting board looks like. And quite honestly, I've reached out. To me, it just does not seem that they're being super overly aggressive with anybody. And that includes the best players in the class because, as my everydayers will know, I've said this plenty of times before, I think Brad is making a concerted effort to save the funds that we have, which is plenty, don't get me wrong, but invest it in what he thinks is going to build the best basketball team. And I think this year is going to be a good trial run to see if his latest strategy, which seems to be invest in maturity, invest in experience, and invest in what you've kind of already seen, more proven work. If this season is successful for the Illini, I would not be surprised if Brad Underwood decides not to go all in for a primetime high school prep prospect in 2026. Because keep in mind, you're going to have to replace a Colin Boswell. You're going to probably have to replace a Tomislav Avicic. You may have to replace an Andrei Stojakovic. Very key players on your basketball team. A starting center and a starting point guard are going to cost a lot of money and going to take a huge investment by the program. And so that's why maybe giving a big percentage of that available money to unproven prospects might not be the direction that Brad wants to go. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Would you be disappointed if we didn't get a top 50, maybe top 60 type of basketball player in the 2026 class? Even though I think the only reason that would be is that because they're pursuing the experienced guys a little bit more. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching that clip from one of our recent shows. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and watch the full episode. It should be right here on this channel. Better yet, if you are a fan of the Illini, make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Illini. I produce content for you daily. That's right, every single day, right here on Locked On Illini. Tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.